Got you. All right. So first of all, appreciate you
No
doing
problem.
it.
No problem.
I
No
guess
problem.
first, how did the camp come to be, and what made you decide to want to jump in and do this?
Uh, these guys, Arif, Benji, and all these guys, are good friends of mine. We're like family, and so we kind of been talking about having a camp for a while, and we finally kind of start having the conversation and making it come to fruition. So we put our heads together, met on it a few times, see if the dates would work, the times would work, and what the ideas were, and it all made sense, and so we were able to put it together.
Okay, I got you. So then I guess you got a full plate, with your responsibility with the Ravens, the private coaching. I guess what drives you to continue working with kids at this point?
I just love wideout play. I love being out on the field. I love talking wideout play. I love being around anybody who wants to work and get better at wideout play and their craft. And so I know a lot of these kids. A lot of the kids are, Arif and Mike's son and Benji's son. So like I said, we're all like family. So that's part of the motivation also. But again, I just love being around anybody who wants to get better at playing wideout.
And how, I guess, what you mentioned and how you know a lot of the kids too, like how rewarding is it for you to be able to continue to see their growth and development, through these early
Right,
years?
right. It's really rewarding because when they were, when I was working with them when I lived here in Nebraska, you can see that they had this kind of potential, and for me to see that they stayed on track, stayed the course, and then you're starting to see some of that potential play out and be reached. It's really rewarding.
And one of the things too with your private coaching, you work with a lot of top guys out there, Devontae, Tyreek. Like how easy or difficult is it to impart that same wisdom to those guys to the kids?
It's really all the same. It's really all about the same guidelines, the same principles, the same perspective. Get better, work, avoid distractions, stay focused, stay locked in, have a narrow mind and a narrow lane in terms of your mentality and the direction you want to go. That message is universal, so it's really not that difficult because from Tyreek, from Devontae, all the way down to a young kid in youth football, your mindset is the same.
Yeah, and do you get a chance to tell those kids too, like, hey man, you see those guys scoring touchdowns on Sundays, and it may look like it comes effortlessly, but they start by doing this sort of stuff, by doing the work too.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And like you said, when I was training those guys, Tyreek, Devontae, all those guys, they all worked with some of these kids. And so these kids actually witnessed their work ethic, and because they were in the same drill with them. And so, they really understand that.
Okay, and then even and it can be the same or different for working with kids or working with those guys. What does it take to kind of unlock the potential of a player like that?
Just help them understand what it takes, and have your long-term goal be a collection of short-term goals that you achieve consecutively. And so we just talk about the old cliche of getting better every day, but really have that not as a mindset, as your lifestyle. Think that way when you're away from the game, when you're away from the field. Think about getting better. You should be anticipating the workout tomorrow. It shouldn't be a surprise. You should be thinking, gosh, I can't wait to go get on the cones tomorrow, because you're that hungry. You're that desperate for success. And so I talk like that to the young guys and to the older guys, because that message goes the same way either way.
Okay, and you mentioned the cones. If you had to pick a couple of things or one thing even that you say this is a foundational thing that I work with all of my receivers on, what would you say that would be?
It'd be the cones.
The cones?
Yeah, they know the cones. When the cones and the ropes come out, somebody's gonna be sweating.
Okay, and I guess one thing too about you, and I'm always curious on this, obviously coaching the receivers, help coach the receivers at the Ravens, you obviously the guy who's throwing to them as well, Lamar Jackson. Do we understand just how good he is and how many ways he helps improve the team around him?
Well, he's an animal. Everything that you've heard about him in terms of being a great player and a great teammate and a great leader is the truth. There's nothing untrue about that. He's extremely talented. He's extremely dedicated. He's a team player. He's a team. The guys love him. He's a guy's guy, and he's motivated, and he's awesome. He's a great player, a great guy.
Thanks, man. Definitely appreciate it.